Good afternoon, YouTube family. Martinez Country Home here. Today is Friday, May 13th, 2022. Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th, excuse me. Um, well, guys, what I wanted to talk about was really a few things that all tie into one picture, right? So we've been talking for the past couple of years since the health crisis how we were going to be having all these problems, not just food shortages, but supply shortages of different types, right? Our economy was very bad. Inflation because of all the money printing, um, fuel shortages, and all the things that we're seeing right now. And um, so yesterday there was a story about um, an impending diesel shortage that's going to really flesh out in the East Coast. That's where it's really going to happen, I guess. That's what they're expecting in the East Coast. Diesel shortages to the point where they might um, actually ration the fuel. Now, I'm sure y'all have heard this story already, but what I wanted to talk about was that along with this diesel shortage, um, the baby food shortage, um, the high price of food, high price of fuel, and then on May 22nd, they're supposed to go up and vote for a UN a treaty, right? From who called the pandemic treaty or something like that, right? Where and which I talked about before earlier this week. Um, but it's become very apparent, and I know I've mentioned this before. Many people have mentioned it before, but um, I don't think people are seeing that what is going on right now is by design. Um, and in particular to the United States, to our country, from our own leaders, right? At least they're the ones that are making the decisions, right? Supposedly Joe Biden. But I'm here to tell you guys that it's not really; those are just mouthpieces. This is a coordinated effort by the globalists, trying to bring about this one world government that we've been talking about for many years. Um, the reason I'm making this video today is because we go through spurts, right, where we see these changes all of a sudden, and we can see that they're directly tied to this new world order that they're trying to implement, this one world government. Throughout the years, in 2014 it was kind of looking like that. uh, as far as when after I woke up that I knew about these things, right, that these things were even existing. And then it'll die down, it'll calm down, and then it'll speed up again. And that's the way they do it, guys. They'll, for every one or two steps that we push them back, um they come back three steps, right? So even though we might hold them or push them back, we're always steadily losing ground. We might get a couple of victories here and there, but I'm seeing now, especially in this spring, that, and really it started with the war with Ukraine and Russia. um, all the money that's going over there, not just our money, but a lot of arms, and equipment. We sold our grains to China, corn, wheat, our fuels being shipped overseas, diesel. I'm seeing a coordinated effort to hamstring America. And it's kind of, even though I've been talking to my friends and my family for many years, expecting these things like with Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030, which is this is what we're watching right now. It's still kind of shocking to me to actually see it coming about. Actually, it's happening. And so I watched a video earlier, Alaska Prepper, and he was just talking about how, he always talked about how, one day when it seemed like the time that we have to prepare is coming to an end. That he would talk about it, and that's what he was talking about today. How it's very near, guys, where the time where we can prepare, where we can stock up and all of these things, prepare for what's coming. Um, it's coming to an end, and I see it, that it's all these things are happening, and a lot of people are just oblivious to it. I've gone to the grocery store, and there's stock pretty well. Of course, the prices are very high, but it's just very shocking to me to see. Mainly, what's shocking to me, guys, is how out in the open America's being brought down. The shortages that we're experiencing, guys, um, the economic um suffering that a lot of people are going through, the housing crisis, guys. It's not so much that there's not enough houses; it's that people can't afford them. Um, it's shocking to me how fast it's come about and how it's happening right in front of our face. Um, when I was a teenager, after high school, you could get a job, and you could afford an apartment, maybe even get a roommate, and y'all can afford an apartment. Split the bills, whatever. Uh, with a job right out of high school, right, entry level job, you could afford an apartment. Things might be tight or whatever, but when you're young, you really don't need. You know what I mean? Um, but there's no way now. There's no way somebody can get out of high school, graduate and get an entry level job and afford the rents that we're seeing in the apartment industry and residential homes. It's so expensive, and it's just shocking to me to see how it's all playing about. It's happening right in front of our faces, and that's not to say that there's not people that are making it. There's people still with good jobs and able to afford all this inflation, right? But you still people still are paying more, so they have less. They're gonna have less whether you can afford it or not. Still, your purchasing power has gone down, and so with this diesel shortage that they're talking about, I mean, it seems like there's crisis after crisis after crisis. That's all that's happening now, and uh, so I just sit back, and I mean, I'm so glad, so relieved that I've been preparing these past couple of years, steady, just steady, steady, nothing crazy. But I'm glad I did. And so, if you have family or friends that are still not, and I mean, I know, guys, we try and we try, but you know, because there's gonna come a point where they're gonna run out of time. Food's gonna be out of their reach as far as the prices, or that's all they will be able to afford. It's either eat or pay other bills. So, and most people, for kind of funny, but they will pay their bills like most of the time, for their water or their light, their rent, of course. Um, and they'll try to figure out a way to get food, right, from family or maybe hit a food bank. So anyway, guys, um, all this was by design, and what we're seeing, in my opinion, that we're going from this paradigm of money, of cash, and the paradigm of this money system, is what we're seeing is they're trying to drag us kicking and screaming into the next one. And I think the next one will be, um, from what I hear, is carbon credits. It all has to do with sustainability, and um, no matter that, until we fully implement that system, a lot of people are going to die, and a lot of people are going to suffer, and a lot of people are going to lose a lot, because that system is not fully ready yet. It's not ready. But they don't care, because they're not going to suffer. They're already set. They're well. They invented the system. They brought it about, so they're prepared. They have themselves situated and positioned to where they're gonna benefit. So just remember, guys, that everything that and I really hate when I talk to people and they're talking about how well the government helped us doing this and that, and they don't realize that the government made it to where they had to ask the government for help, or they needed the government's help. The government set it up that way. So I'm just saying, guys, prepare. If you got other things that you don't want to you don't want to leave, or you want to get, just remember that. Just think of it like, there's a hard winter. They're predicting a hard winter, a cold winter, and it's the summertime, and they tell you for sure there's gonna be a hard winter. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna prepare for that winter as much as you can. And so right now, guys, there's the winter's coming. That winter, that darkness is coming, and I already see it. I mean, honestly, um, my the way I see things is very dark, very cloudy, very that's the vibe I'm getting of the future. Now, of course, I know that there's gonna be opportunity, um, to take advantage of this of these bad times. But that's another video. That's another topic for another video. Anyway, guys, prepare. Time's running short. I'll leave any relevant links in the description, and especially with the carbon credits, guys. Um, you gotta realize that they're gonna try to limit us in the things that we can get and eat. They're gonna try to control everything that we do, guys. Okay, so we gotta fight back in any way we can. We gotta resist, and in any way that we can, and the first step in that is to be prepared. Okay, um, because if you're tired and you're hungry and you're thirsty, you'll do whatever they say. You're not gonna think twice. Okay. So anyway, guys, y'all take care of each other and love each other out there, because that's what we're here for. God bless.